Yeah, I was angry. I was either going to take my own life, and then I got mad. Yeah, I wasn't angry. I was a mad dog with a bone. Why didn't somebody tell me? Tell me something. Why didn't the government tell me? The government took my son, took all of our children, all of our warfighters, trained them for, especially Marines, trained them for 1 year to be an expert in the application of violence. My son was medically retired. He didn't get any help, or he didn't get the right help. He got a check in the box help from the VA, which is bullshit. Okay, yeah, I did this, check, check, check. It's not working. The VA knows it's not working. They've done studies to prove that it's not working, but they're still just doing check, check, check. Well, that needs to change. But my anger was, I need to tell the world. I need to let everybody know what's going on. This post-traumatic stress is just terrible. You know, we need to talk about it. So I had I had the first annual Lance Corporal Janusz V. Lutz PTSD awareness ride, January 12, 2014. We received 14 proclamations proclaiming that day as Johnny's PTSD Awareness Day. 26 states flew in to participate. We had about 800 motorcycles. Redcon 1 performed live. It was an awesome day to raise awareness for post-traumatic stress. Now the ride is over, and I'm like, okay, great. We're raising awareness. Okay, so how is this going to help the problem? What is the solution to this problem? And I truly believe there is a solution to every problem if you really want to fix it. If you just want to stop talking about it and start taking action. So I started talking to my son's friends. And I said, Andy, what helps you? What relieves the pressure? And he said to me, Janine, I wish that you could be at my house on a Friday night when I have a couple of war fighters here. We're sharing a couple beers and just shooting the shit. He goes, because it's going to be conversation that you've never heard. He goes, and that is what relieves my pressure. He goes, you know, I chuckle. He goes, the VA wants me to talk to a psychologist or a psychiatrist that's never seen combat, that doesn't even really speak English, that read a textbook, and they're going to help me deal with my stuff. I don't want that. Or the VA gives me all these meds. That doesn't help. That just numbs me. And I don't want to walk around like a damn zombie. It's my buddies, you know, hanging out with them. That's what makes me feel better. So that was Andy, and then I spoke to other war fighters, and I was hearing the same thing over and over. Our war fighters, our military, our armed forces is 1% of the population. So just imagine 99%, they've never walked in those shoes. They've never experienced that, or have a loved one that's been to war. And for my own example, before my son went to war, I really had no clue. So I can't fault the other 99%. But what I do fault is, why don't we know? Why isn't that information shared? Our armed forces, they are willing to give our lives to keep us free in this country. We need to be educated. We need to be more educated. And especially now, since the global war on terror started in 2001, I believe, we have 2.5 million armed forces that are here in our population and that continue to come home. I mean, we went in droves to Iraq and Afghanistan, so they're going to come home in droves. We need to be ready for them. We need to take care of them. We need to have the knowledge. I should have known about post-traumatic stress when my son came home. I should have known the warning signs, the red flags. The side effects of all the medication, if I knew this, then my son would be alive. So now I have this information and I want the world to know. How can we fix this problem? Well, one, we need to stop with the medication. Two, they need to have caregivers because they are not capable of caring for themselves. And the VA and the government and the insurance agencies know this. So why aren't they doing something about it? That is my question. Why? Oh, goodness. In February of this year, I started a foundation, of course named after my son. It's the Lance Corporal Janusz V. Lutz Live to Tell Foundation. And what we strive to do, what our mission is to reduce veteran suicide through one of our programs, which is the Lance Corporal Lutz Buddy Up program. We started that here in Davie, Florida. This month, on August 28th, is going to be our 6th month doing it. And the whole base, or the reason that I'm doing this, when our warfighters are overseas fighting, you know what keeps them alive? They're not fighting for the cause. They're fighting to keep their battle buddy alive. That's all they care about. They don't care about you or me. They fight, and they would give their life to keep their battle buddy alive. So I believe, and I know, and it's already working because I've seen the results. If we can get them to buddy up here locally, well, let me back up a little bit. So our guys come home from war.
Nice connection.
And they scatter. So Johnny lost all of his buddies that he went to war with because they're in North Carolina, they're in New York, they're in Colorado. So he's here in Davie, Florida. He doesn't have any war fighters here locally to talk to. So who's he going to talk to? Mom? I mean, yeah, I love to talk to my son, but he's not going to want to talk to me about any of the feelings that he has from being at war. Or he's not going to want to talk to his brother. The only one that can truly understand him is another war fighter. So that's what my whole program is based on. I connect local war fighters locally in a community, bring them together, and it's magic. It's just magic. They get together and they just start talking. I feed them a great meal. We have prizes. I invite veteran resources. And each month I try to get at least 3 veteran resources. For example, we had at our last Buddy Up, I had Welcome Home Resumes, and what he does is he gives free, he creates beautiful resumes for our warfighters and their families. So he's not just helping just the warfighter, he's also doing it for the family. And they teach them how to act in an interview, and they provide clothing and total support, 100% free. Then we also have, there's another great one. I mean, there's many, just what comes to the top of my head, and I don't mean to leave anybody out. There's another one, Military Racquetball Federation. They've come to my club, and they get the guys to go play racquetball together, totally free. We have Swim with the Dolphins, we have horse therapy, equine therapy, dogs, everything totally free. And then I take all these, once I've approved the resources, I just shouldn't say approved, but once I know that they're walking the walk and not just talking the talk, I put them on my resource page on my website. And so they'll always have access to them. And we get together, we have prizes, and we have a different theme every month. This month is tats and tags, tattoos and tags. So I actually reached out to a couple of tattoo parlors in the neighborhood, and they gave me gift certificates for a couple of free tattoos. Yeah. And then also a couple of restaurants have provided the food for us for free. Another person gave me $25 gift certificates to give to them. But it's just getting together. And what I'm hearing, well, let me tell you this. My first Buddy Up was in March. I had 3 show up. And I was like, oh, I had more veteran sources there and volunteers than warfighters. And I was like, oh, well, I just got to keep fighting. And, it was discouraging, right? But we just kept going. And now, this month, August 28th, I'm expecting 30 to 40 war fighters. And it's just a wonderful thing. And I know that I'm saving lives. I know that, that I'm making a difference. So my program, I have the complete outline of my program on my website for any community to download for free and implement it in their neighborhood. And of course, I will assist any way I can. Also, I forgot about this. Also, at our Buddy Ups, we have a veteran-to-veteran contract where any veterans in the group, and they do it on their own. I don't push them. They just get together and they just start talking. It's a wonderful thing. But I do hold up the contract and ask them if anybody in the group would like to just buddy up, exchange their contact information, any anniversary dates. And anniversary dates could be the loss of somebody that they lost on the battlefield, or a loved one that might trigger their post-traumatic stress. And also, I don't call it PTSD. It's post-traumatic stress, and post-traumatic stress is a perfectly normal reaction after visiting the theater of war. And they can find happiness and joy again. They can build on top of those scars. It's a different journey for everybody. And it is a long process.